Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're once again going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. Now, I'm just kind of shooting straight through these things this morning. I'd like to have at least a partial part of my weekend to actually be my weekend, so I'm going to go ahead and just go straight through these. I already kind of gone through the wonderful news that Agape is closing down, so we're just going to go straight into it, all right? No Twitter viewing until I'm done. It's probably for the best. All right, folks. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by Autistics for Autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. We also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the medical sheet, the behavioral sheet of shockable offenses provided by Jennifer Basumba, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and talk on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, parental supervision is very obviously advised. Trigger warning, we are about to once again descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. He's going to gaslight you. He's going to lie to you. He's going to use, I don't even know what he calls his idea of logic, but it just sounds like a whole bunch of bullshit to me. You're going to hear pseudoscience, dangerous pseudoscience, the kind that gets people either locked up or killed kind of pseudoscience. You are going to hear enough ableism and bigotry to circle the globe a few thousand times. Victim blaming, the works. So just be prepared for that, all right? And also prepared for his logic to not logic. All right, so where we left off last vid. Prepare yourself for more bullshit. Behavioral skin shock treatment is well supported in the professional behavior modification literature by authors of psychology, psychiatry textbooks, and by the national professional organizations. Lie. That's a big lie, doctor. Massive. Let's get to the truth, shall we? As a matter of fact, as an individual who used to work in this field and has plenty of friends that still do, I can tell you that the majority of the people who work in this field, psychiatrists, psychologists, neurologists, OT and PT therapy, even ABA professionals, like the 900 professionals interviewed by NeuroClastic, no less, actually very much are against this barbaric bullshit. It is not supported by any individual. Let's talk about professional behavior modification literature. That is a lie. Matter of fact, the majority of those folks who do practice ABA, with the massive amount of problems that particular form of treatment has, They are 100% against Dr. Matthew Israel. Their literature does not in any way, shape, or form justify his bullshit. Authors of psychology and psychiatry textbooks, but he's not going to tell you the truth about that. Allow me. The individuals that he's talking about are the ones he pays. There is no one outside of the JRC or outside of the state of Massachusetts that approves this shit. It is not at all in any of those textbooks. It hasn't been since the fucking 70s. And if you want to challenge me on that, doctor, go right ahead. I've read those textbooks. Okay? And by national professional organizations. Let's talk about national organizations that are accepted as experts, who are against your bullshit. ARC of the United States. ARC, as I have said numerous times on this channel, is the largest, bar none, the largest provider of services to school age all the way up into adulthood. Largest provider for services for us in the United States. They oversee the treatment programs of millions of us all over the U.S. They include doctors, case managers, social workers, and include partners that work in psychology, psychiatry, neurology. They have come out 100% against the JRC. And as a matter of fact, has joined in signatures with multiple other professional organizations against this barbaric bullshit. Let's talk about other organizations. One of the oldest in our country is Easter Seals. They also are one of the largest providers of services for people with developmental disabilities in the United States. They've come out against it. NAMI is the largest advocacy groups for people who have mental health issues in the United States. They not only are comprised of self-advocates, but again, doctors, neurology, psychology, psychiatry. The March for Dimes has come out against them. Again, one of the oldest organizations out there. All of these places are just the tip of the iceberg, folks. There have been individual groups from states all over the country made up of professionals who have loudly come out and condemned this bullshit. MDRI, who he likes to sit there and say, they don't understand, is made up of self-advocates, doctors, lawyers, psychologists, psychiatrists, neurologists, case managers, social workers, direct care staff. The list goes on. Everything he just said in that sentence is a complete lie. The fucking only two places that have ever defended the JRC was once upon a time Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks removed their support back in 2013 when they got caught and called out. And most recently, their most staunch defenders, whom they have given the JRC a platform year after year after year at their yearly conference, ABAI, that is Applied Behavior Analysis International, that group. They have recently, within the last few months, removed all support from the JRC. So everything he just said is a lie. Who's shocked? Anybody shocked? Yeah, I didn't think so. Let's move on here, shall we? The professional literature in the field of behavior modification contains 113 studies in which behavioral skin shock has been used. You want to know who wrote those 113 studies? If you think it's the individual that has the balls to cite himself as a source, you would be right. It is Dr. Matthew Israel and his fucking circle of sycophant bastards that wrote these studies. It is actually not widely supported throughout the medical world, and is, as a matter of fact, seen as an embarrassment. There is no true peer review when it comes to those studies. Nobody outside the JRC will back it up, nor will they conduct the studies themselves, because they have openly stated on numerous occasions because they find such a study unethical and in violation of the human rights of the patient. I should tell you something. But let's finish up here, and then we'll get to their list of their bullshit. The following national organizations have issued statements recognizing the professional basis of the use of behavioral skin shock, the use of aversives in general, and or the right of parents of special needs children to choose the form of therapy best suited to their own child's needs. You're going to find a lot of these organizations come from the 80s. In fact, before we break into them in the next video, we're just going to scan through it. The Association of Behavioral and Cognitive Therapies, 1982. 1982, folks. Literally from the era my brother was born. Medicine and medical knowledge and different treatments that can be used for autistics and similar neurodiverse disabilities has grown infinitely from this time period. To cite a source that goes back to 1982 as your thesis as to why this should continue in the modern world is a fucking joke. We'll get more into that in a minute. Let's see what else. International Association for Behavior Analysis, 1988. If you wondered if they have since then withdrawn their support, you'd be right. In fact, a lot of these organizations he's citing don't even exist anymore. Let me say that again. These organizations that he's citing don't even exist anymore. Quite a few of them. The National Institute of Health, 1989, Consensus Conference on Destructive Behaviors, 1989. 1989. 1995, Autism Society of America. Seriously. So he's going to cite autism hate groups from the early 90s as individuals like, but they say. Right. So you notice something about all these organizations he's listing, right? They all come from either the 1980s or early 1990s. Yeah. Talking well over 30 fucking years ago. Many of those groups don't even exist anymore. Many of the groups that he listed have since recanted their support when different, more fucking reasonable and humane forms of treatment have appeared and have been proven with data, in spite of what the doctor is going to try and sell you, to work better for the individual. This doctor has no one, not even in 2010, from the modern world that backs his insanity, and that should speak volumes. We're going to dig into a little bit more on that in the next video, but let's go ahead and get this one closed out. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.